Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world of darkness, and welcome to Rage Across New York, the werewolf venue. On today's scene is going to be a family reunion, as Katori is hanging around in his den, probably thinking about, well, what may or may not happen next within the next few days or few weeks in a certain part of the world. And I guess this is where we will start our scene as Snow Paws is going to make her way to the den.
Snowpaws will kind of wiggle her way inside and sniff around. Yes, is it Stars? Are you home?
Yes, yes, I am. You can come in.
And she'll come inside and look around the main area of the den. Her tail wags a bit when she looks at him.
Uh, sorry, go on.
Oh, she just says hello.
Okay. When you enter the inside of the den after going through all the routes that makes it quite hard for Hamid to get in, you can see that pretty much the inside there are paws, marks, drawings on the wall made out of blood, and the the bottom of the den is having, well, I would say typical typical reptile intertribal with skulls and little bones everywhere, and probably in a corner she can see snakes probably asleep doing their snake thing. Hello, sister.
She'll be careful not to step on any of those snakes.
Yeah, it's not like they're highly venomous or something.
Of course not. She pads inside and she'll take a seat and look around first at all of the skulls and the other strange lupus decor. I I talked to Smiles in the night, Raya, about the Red Tower.
Yes. And what did you got from our, or should I say now, the house, blah, blah, yeah, the tribe of our ancestors?
Her tail sort of lowers a bit. They believe there is no hope for Gaia.
Hmm.
That we just continue to do what we do because it was what we were made to do. Not because we can win any longer.
It is a hard question to answer. The sons of Griffins, they have seen the worst of what humanity brings, just as we did, or at least the ones that took me in. We saw what Garu can do to one another, and we saw firsthand, you and I, what humans can do. They are dark times, and our nations holds many lack of judgment. We have done many actions that would probably have prevent what is happening today. As to if there is no hope, only the future can tell. There is one truth It's that our kind is slowly dying.
Do you think that humans really, really ruined it so bad that we cannot save Gaia?
Are all human evil? I do not think so. Most of them are. They do not understand. They do not wish to understand. They attack each other based on the color of their flesh, based on what they believed in. They wage war. They destroy what they touched. But some understand the truth of Gaia. Some actually try to make a difference. Long ago, when before the Wormcomers came, before the Glass Walkers, the Ura came with their snake of metal, their pollution. These lands, they were pure. They were an ideal place for Garu, for human, and for Thera. And then they came, and they wrecked everything in their paths. Is there no hope? I do not know. If I told you that there is hope for the future, I wouldn't really know the true answer. But I believe that if we somehow reconnect with the Thera, if we go with our old purpose, all of us, and we strike at the true enemy, the Weaver, and somehow manage to heal the worm, to bring it back to its state of balance one way or another, then yes, the future may not be so bleak.
But what if the humans that hurt us hurt wolves and Gaia? You said there are good ones, but I have not seen a good human.
Would you say that the one who stayed on your territory, the one who rescued you, are bad?
They were not there when it mattered. They could not stop those that come with the sticks, the fake lightning sticks, and scatter our packs and take our families. They were nowhere to be found.
Hmm. It is a hard time for all of us. Unfortunately, there are too few that are there when it matters. They have been struck. They felt the blow from the white Hamids, the white humans who broke them, parked them in what they call reserve, where disease, waters made out of fire runs through their vein and their mind, destroying their heritage, destroying their ideals, destroying their culture. We are all fighting for survival, but that leaves us wolves alone, except when there is a strong presence of a tribe near us, where Hamids works with Lupus to protect the kinfolks.
When one of the other cubs, the Hamid, he talked to me, trying to say that good Hamids existed. He told me that the good ones were the ones who gave us. He said they were reserves, where they chose where wolves would live and bound them only to those areas. And I wondered, how could somebody think that is good? It is like a cage, but so much bigger. So big they think we will not see the bars.
Katori will give a weak grin to that. The Uktina tribes and the Wendigo, they know this. Their Hamids, their kinfolks, have been parked in places given by others, telling them it is okay, stay here, you will be safe, when they have hoarded them from their territories, from the land they had claimed, where they hunted only what they needed, used only what they needed. They parked them in the reserves, saying, we're doing you good. We're doing this because we want to protect you. Those are lies. Reserves for what I have seen and heard. They are lies. I do not know for the ones that they use for us. I have heard of many places where some of the kinfolk of the Uktina called Sacred Land, where wolves are allowed to roam freely. But this world, this land has been taken. They have made territories, declare it their own. So in return, others created new territory where they said, you cannot hunt there, you cannot go there, you have to respect our ways. This is the perversion of the Weaver.
What if the good Hamids that you say only did what they needed? Did they still wear false pelts and use false claws?
Yes, from what I have seen, from what I understand, Hamids always envied and acted as if they were mm, predators of their own. They can eat many things. They can eat flesh, can eat fruits and other things, but they always they are squishy. Their flesh cannot withhold. So when they hunt and when they kill one that they declare is a prey, then they will use everything, not letting it go to waste. Smiles, Smiles has passed long, long time in Pangaea, where he raised his cubs. From what he told me, he raised them properly when they used only what they were given. Mm, I do not know of how exactly humans would adapt to those conditions, but hmm, having less humans wouldn't be bad. We are too much, just as when there is too much prey everywhere, eating all the grass, making it full of death when there is not enough predator to rescale the balance. Or just as if there are too much predator, there will be nothing left for them to eat and they will starve to death.
Snowpaws seems pretty thoughtful as she sits there silently.
You've
Do these
talked.
ones still remember their purpose from Gaia?
Hmm. Uh, Shelby, what did you say exactly? Because I understood purpose for Gaia.
She asked, do these ones still remember their purpose from Gaia?
What would be your definition of purpose for Gaia towards a human?
That they are animals. That they are not special like they think they are. That they are not separate from other animals. But all of them, they seem to forget this. They think humans are different, that humans are special. And that is why they hurt everything.
Hmm.
Are there humans who have not forgotten?
Those ones. Hmm, I haven't yet found a human that refers to him as an animal, unfortunately. But from what I have been talking with other tribe members, and from what I've seen, some among the pure tribe still clinch to the old ways. They were nomads. They went from mm, plains to plains, changing when the season changed, not staying and building scars across the world. They followed the bison. They respected Gaia and her way. They made sure, as I said, that they only took what was needed. They communed with the spirits, trying to have their patronage, to act in accordance to what they saw as Gaia under different names. Those ones, some of her lives in small islands or in the Dark Continent, for what I believe. They have been crushed by the others who saw them as feral savages, too wild, too uncivilized. So they broke them, made them in their image, a broken reflection of what they used to be. Some still struggles to the old ways. They are parked and reserved, just as were put there. They have sacred lands that they keep safe. They fight against those who wish to take those lands from them. There is always, unfortunately, some who will see them as more themselves as more important. But from what I know, for the pure tribes, they are struggling to keep the old ways alive, even if it is not the oldest ways that is seen in Pangaea. They do not use their hands to kill things or just stay prey and only eat fruit and grass. They use fake claws and bows and arrows. But they do not hunt as much as they did. They try and struggle in a world where the mad spinning of the weaver make them out of place, struggling to keep what little they had. But Smiles would rather see, as most of the Red Talons would see, all humans dead, erased from the surface of Gaia. I am more pragmatic. Gaia made them. They were corrupted by the worm, corrupted by the weaver. No, some may be redeemable. Those who try and fight to keep the old ways alive should be allowed to stay. For the rest, well, I think there are way too many white Hamids anyway. Might as well get rid of them.
Is it the white Hamids then that are so sure of hurting everything? Like the Silver Fang cub with his pink skin?
to say that. mm, to say that all. mm, as he takes a moment to ponder. Hmm. Our brothers and sisters of pink complexion. It is not. They are still Garu. It is not their fault for those who came before them if they know and understand what their ancestors did. Some here, they understand our anger, our frustration with what happened. But from what I have seen, what I have heard, those lands, those lands didn't have scars. They were, as he thinks, I think there were some that could be called scar deep in the south, but they were made solely of stone, a mist of the jungle. But when the story goes, those of pink chicken skin came, they declared, "This is our land." A god, a god, as they say it, a being that is supposedly all powerful, told them that everything that they touch belongs to them because they are in his image. They arrived, then took a look upon the people who lived there, who were respecting the old ways. They let them believe that they came in peace, took their food with them, shared it for the first year, then chose to betray them, starting to kill them one by one, offering them disease under the guise of presents, killing them. Then, yes, they built the scars. This scar outside is their doing. The scars they brought among the land. They cut down the trees to make place for a road made of metal, where a metal worm rode, spitting blackness, darkness. Some say respect the territory of another. They spit in our face, took our lands, saying that they were only doing us a favor because we were unable to defend everything. They waged war against the Fera when they found that we hadn't killed them all here. I don't know from what place they came. The continent is called Europe. I do not know how they came to such a state, but from what I understand of the stories, they went around the world, all over Gaia, taking lands for their own and killing those who were opposing them, reducing them to slavery, declaring that they were their own, as if they were pets or others, exploiting them until they died. Then they brought others, and so on and so forth. From all those Homeds, Garu, who I have talked to, they are horrified by what happened during those time. Yet seems it seems very complicated now to make them go away, or at least the Wendigo. The Wendigo thinks that by killing them all or throwing them away from our lands will make a difference. I do not know if little brother has truly a good answer. I have many friends here who are not native, who do not have the brown skin. I do not wish them to come to harm. They are warriors of Gaia. But I can't really forget what happened in the past. What they did, what at least their stock did to the face of Gaia.
So, to fight against the worm and the weaver and even the humans, what do the Uktena do?
I will tell you a story. Long ago, when everything was right, they were three brothers. They came always together. They were not blood bounded like we are, you and I, but they acted all three together. The oldest one, he was wise, always looking beyond the horizon, looking through the umbra, talking with the spirits. The middle brother was high and mighty, always passionate, yet he was bringing judgment and balance to older brother when he was looking too deep, too far away. And for the younger brother was ferocious, wild. He was a warrior born. Middle brother was making sure that his anger was rightfully spent. When Silverfang declared war on all Ferras, the three brothers consulted together, consulted with Gaia. They did not want to take part of this. They wanted to be somewhere else, somewhere where they wouldn't be dictated the word of the Silverfangs and all others. Gaia, in her wisdom, told them that if they looked beyond the horizon, they would find a land pure that they will be guarding. So she made a bridge for them to go with their kinfolks, with their totems. They took on the journey. The journey was harsh, the journey was unforgiving, and put many trials upon the three brothers, each brother finding a way. The bushes of thorn is one of those. They faced a bush made of thorn so thick that to go through it would be, well, dangerous, would be harsh. Older brother looked. Older brother said, I do not need to go through this. He dug his way under the thorn bush and came from the other side. Younger brother, always brash, looked at this and used his claw to make his way through. While middle brother looked at both, he chose to pass directly through it, enduring. And so on and so forth, the three brothers overcame the trials and arrived in those lands. They were Thera there. They chose not to attack them. They chose to stay with them and make sure that this land that has been given by Gaia to be guarded would stay pure. Older brother had chosen Uktena before leaving. Uktena is a totem of wisdom, secrets, and discovery. He gives older brother a drive to find things, the will and the curiosity to find them, understand them. Where most Garu will look at a problem and say, I will kill it. The Uktena will look at this and they will try to understand why the problem happened and how best to beat it without wasting energy to it, without going blindly into combat. By understanding the enemy, by understanding its way, the Uktena are able to beat it at its own game. Middle brother had chosen Turtle. Turtle was a totem of respect. He was strong but stubborn. Honor was high for them. And this honor that they shared with others to make sure that they did not forget their purpose to Gaia ultimately may have led them to their fall and sacrifice. Younger brother, he chose Wendigo, the frozen north of vengeance. They are fierce defender of the land. They fight even when others would say, now is not the time to fight anymore. They do not give up. They never give up. They fight with the cold harshness of vengeance. Theirs is the land of the north. And when they hunt you, they find you and kill you, just as their totem do. Uktena here, we did many things against agents of the worm, to think that this land was perfect and without danger from the worm would be an illusion. We found those veins, we trapped them, for destroying them wouldn't be a solution. We put them to rest, giving the land its purity, making sure that they would not come back. Then something happened. We do not know how, but the Eater of Soul, one of the heads of a triad, was starting to appear here. Younger brother wanted to fight it. Older brother was trying to catch time for younger brother, for we didn't know how to beat it such mighty adversary. And all this time, middle brother whose honor was so high, couldn't let his brother continue their dispute, couldn't allow the land that was given to them by Gaia to protect to be destroyed and tainted by the worm. They sacrificed themselves, each and every single one of them. They did not allow us to come to their aid. They chose death as an offering to save this land until the moment where those who came beyond the sea arrived and, well, made their sacrifice almost meaningless.
Snow paused through the story. I had been watching with perked ears, occasionally at the mentions of what happened to middle brother. Her fur bristles just a little bit. But if the ones that brought the worm were already here, and they could not be driven away, why did middle brother sacrifice themselves? Knowing that maybe that wouldn't be enough to save them, to save these lands.
Middle brother couldn't forego the future, couldn't tell what would happen. The head of the worm was arriving, was more powerful than anything we could have thought. When the others came, they took our lands. They brought such an imbalance and did not understand what they were doing. They released something that is called the Storm Eater, an abomination made of weaver and worm, to seal it away for good. 13 members, 13 heroes of a nation sacrificed themselves to seal it away. The power of sacrifice holds many symbolism and many strength. Or as he tries to find words, the agents that were there were small veins, veins that did not had as much of a hold as they did on the old world, on the land claimed by a European Garu. They were not as loud, or they were not as strong, rather should I say, not as strong as those that we face today. I do not claim to understand why Middle Brother didn't wait for Earl's brother to come. Some say that sacrifice was always within the destiny of Middle Brother, that his honor and his love for their lands was so strong that they could not allow another to take the weight that would be demanded. Perhaps, perhaps they thought that if they sacrificed themselves to stop the Eater of Soul, then perhaps older brother and younger brother would strive to keep the land as it is, fighting Banes and making sure that those who were sometimes coming from the Moonbridge stay away from corrupting those lands. But we stood too few, too many cairns to take care since Middle Brother died. We were struck by grief. We, the Uktena, we looked further to the beyond. We don't have Middle Brother anymore to tell us to stop, to look back into the world around us, to not be so driven to know the truth, to know the secrets that hides in the dark. Younger brother is angry. Younger brother is angry at the world. Our kinfolk died. Our lands desecrated. They want to fight until there is no more to fight. They want to drive white humans away from their lands. Let their people breathe. Let their people go back to their old ways. They are lost in the snowstorm, raging against everyone, not willing to listen anymore to the voice of their brother.
Snowpaws has a very, very somber look on her face. If me and you, we came from Red Talon families, Why did you choose to follow Uktena, not Griffin?
Hmm. I could not face my shame. Even if the worm had taken them beyond anything that we could save. I still have the blood of lupuses on my paws and my teeth. Griffin stands for all those who have been lost in the ways of time, those who struggle for survival. In his mist, Mammoth stands beside him, old wolves of the woods. He is mighty as he is savage. He is true to our nature. But you've known me for many years. I've always looked beyond, always curious what hides in the dark. What is there? Why does the woodpecker chop on the woods with its beak? Why do some of the butterflies survive and others do not? Why does the owl stays up and seems to look into your soul when she looks into you? I agree with many things that our tribe stood for. I agree that we should bring back the Imperdium, that we should get rid of so many humans to allow Gaia to breathe. But the ways of the talents and where they are ready to go, I am not ready to take that step. I think that we need to look the problem, understand what it is, and try to fix it rather than falling into a grim view and think that by exterminating one of Gaia's children, no matter how much it is lost to the ways of two maddening triad spirit, would still be going against the wish of Gaia. I believe that if you see a problem and understand, then you might be able to strike stronger than the wolf cornered. Your choice when you will get your rite of passage will have to be your own. You mustn't follow my shadow just because I am your brother. I always will be proud of you. Your choices, the way you choose to see, is your own. Listen to the others. Listen to how they see their tribes, how they see their spirits, how the totem that we follow influence them. Then See which one you think is better suited for you. What ways are better for you? Those choices should not be made on a whim. Some believe that they are made for a tribe, when in reality, they are not. And they become a pale example of their tribe. Look at all the possibilities that falls before you and choose according to your nature, according to what your wolf heart tells you, what your eyes show you, what your ears hear, what your paws can feel. This is how it should be. Not blindly following those who tell you words about their own tribes. We are all biased towards the way of our tribes. The totem spirits, they shape us, change us. We are still ourselves, but their ways are our way, no matter which totem you choose to fall upon for your tribe. His way, his mind will always influence you in a way. So be sure of which way it is that you want to go, sister.
She nods. I do not know yet where I belong. That is why I'm talking to so many. But all of these stories are so big, involve all of Gaia itself, but I am very small. I do not know what role I would play. Not beyond the Philodox that was given to me by Luna.
We never know our true purpose until we face it. I thought I would only be a listening moon, only listening to the spirits, assisting an alpha to make sure that he makes the good choices. Then I went into the darkness, the bleakest of all darkness. And in that moment, the eye of the spirits and the will of Gaia was shown upon me. But I had to take the mantle of Alpha, lead others, make choices for them, and guide them in the darkness. You will find your own purpose. Do not be too hasty to find it. Many before you have rushed, thinking it is their destiny to be the mightiest warrior, the greatest of all Howling Moon. Those who have those preconceptions, they did not last very long here. Just live. Do not bother with the future. Do not bother with too many things in the past. Just be yourself and live through the present.
She heaves a bit of a sigh as she nods. I know that I have to choose soon. Thank you for telling me about the Uktena. I do not know how I will fit in with tribes with Hamid members. In ways they frighten me, and in ways I know that I have frightened them. I do not think we get along. They're too rooted in where they came from that I do not know they would listen to reason.
Then, perhaps, you should continue your teaching towards them. See how the Hamid cubs react. That may enlighten you if you can think you can cooperate with human and have a tribe and have summon them. I think that our ancestor will not frown upon you should you choose the Uktena, should you choose Griffin. I mean, I would highly discourage you from joining the Gerfenrir. Don't think that Screaming Eagle would be very happy about this. As he smirks.
She nods. No, I would be afraid Screaming Eagle would be very angry. Even when Olaf is giving us instructions, I feel him stir. He has great rage.
Yes, I have lived his memories. I understand his anger. But he is the one who set our course to the Uktena tribe. He is. When I was alone with him and Olaf, he never really attacked Olaf because Olaf never showed signs of bad Gerfenrir. But I felt that he was searching for a weakness for him to latch on. Even if, from what I understand, he's more fond of killing Gerfenrir kinfolks. He prefers to make them feel what it feels to lost. It doesn't matter to him if they are dead. They learn nothing from not seeing the suffering that they brought to him. It is vengeance.
She sort of like shakes her head as if trying to get water out of her ears. I do not understand what I've seen of the Get of Fenris. The only one I know is Muhammad, who thinks he is a lupus. And he is a good teacher. He is strange.
Yes, as I've described to many gods, there's the Get of Fenrir. They have a laugh. And he's very good quality. The only quality that I am ready to concede them. And this, as you have said, this is why I couldn't choose Griffin. For Griffin, Olaf, for all his quality, is but a Hamid, even if he is a Garu. Individuals makes exceptions, makes it hard to say all are bad, all should die. Life is more complicated. But sometimes life can use a good old red talon point of view, teeth and claws included.
It is a hard decision to make. And there are so many tribes I still know nothing about. I think I understand Griffin. I understand Uktena. I do not know which one would call to me, though. I think I am not. I think I am too curious for Griffin, but too wounded for Uktena. They. I don't think either of them would like me.
There are many wounded amongst the Uktena tribe. But
the Hamids do not understand. I do not think they would try to.
Then it's a shame that the only representative of little brother had to be gushed out. I think that perhaps if you want, perhaps I could send a message and have a Wendigo Lupus come talk to you. From what I've heard, the tribe, even if they still consider us brothers, they have shifted. They feel closer to red talons nowadays, even if they still holds us close. Perhaps younger brother might suit you better. You just have to tell me, and I will try to
I
make
would
sure
at least
someone
want to
else.
learn.
Hmm?
I would at least want to learn.
Hmm. I know some of their ways, but I am not a Wendigo. Hmm. I can tell you a little bit of what I know, but just tell me, and I will do my best to bring you a teacher.
She wags her tail a bit.
So out of character, was that yes for both, yes for first, yes for latter?
What's that?
So the waggle of the tail, yes, but that's not a yes or no answer. Well, that's a yes answer, but basically, what does she want basically Kotori to tell her a little bit more about younger brother, or is it yeah, I want to have a, a lupus Wendigo to talk to.
Oh, definitely yes to both. She's curious about the Wendigo now.
Mm, Wendigo. And I told you, younger brother is fierce. Younger brother fights. He is a warrior. He, when faced with a crevice that was stopping them from stepping further to their journey, when middle brother just descend and ascend the crevice, when older brother found a weaker spot to go through, younger brother rushed and jumped on the other side, where he was fierce and would not let any obstacles stand in its way. Wendigo were granted the north, just as their totem is made from the frost, abiding vengeance. They stood in the north, guarding the lands of eternal snow. Well, as he thinks for a second, well, not always, but some of their lands are only made of snow and do not see a lot of green around them. They stayed there with what they call the first people. They made them their own, educated them in the way of Gaia. They fought many wars, wars against those who came on their shores, wars against their brothers when they were too angry and did not want to listen to reason, war when they felt that it was needed, that older brother was thinking too much, and that middle brother was trying to concede too much. They are the arm of the pure tribe. They are trackers of excellency. They are white as the snow, for it is their predilection. They hunt in the snow, listening to the heartbeat of their enemy, following it, tracking it as a wolf should do, going after him until the point of exhaustion. This is when they strike, killing it. For when a Wendigo finds you and has declared you its prey, he will never let you go until the moment he kills you. They hold many traditions. They hold rituals dedicated to the sun, dedicated to the moon. They are, to this day, bitter. They are angry at the world, as I told you, angry at the Hamets who took their lands, desecrated it, hunted the wolves, barked their people. They are they are fighting as they have always fight. They are some of them who are willing to listen, but they will always make sure that you never forget the wrong that you've done to them, that you should never abide, never surrender to one who offended you. Wendigo himself has come here. He is harsh, for one might say he loves his children too much. The Wendigo are very traditionalist. They believe in the old way, even in this world where others have imposed their rules. They are adamant to keep the old ways alive, no matter what the cost, taking offense in anyone suggesting that they should change their ways. When Wendigo came, one of my packmates, Lupus, went to talk to Wendigo. I do not know what transpired through their talking, but Wendigo took back what was his. He killed him, for he rebelled against his creator. He bears great hatred for Fenrir, for the Get of Fenrir fought the Wendigo head on, just as the Wendigo fought. But they carried the way of the White Hamets with them. They destroyed their culture, killed their people. In the end, Wendigo is the incarnation of vengeance. He never forgives, never forget a wrongdoing. He is a voice that is screaming in the wind. For when others think that they are safe, think that they did good, that all they did was for the betterment of those savages, that they brought betterment to those poor people, those poor wolves. He screams with the wind, and his howl chills the bones, froze the blood, until he comes for those who offended, those who broke the rules, those who acted against their fellows, not allowing them to sleep anymore until the moment they are found and they die just as their heart has ripped open from their chest in an offering to Wendigo, where vengeance burns cold in their vein, a vengeance that is righteous. I will never fault them for this. They are angry, just as they should be.
I think that I have too much to think about now.
He nods.
I was also going to talk to Garrett about his tribe and try to learn about them. The only cub and a lupus that I liked. He smelled like them.
I don't think you need a peony to see that when you say talk to Garrett's tribe, Katori makes a sour face. Your choice is your choice. Shouldn't be influenced by my own experience.
What has happened with his tribe? Are they with the ones that came and hurt Middle Brother?
Shadow Lords. I've heard two experience with them. One is through the knowledge that I gathered. They arrived in the south of those lands, in the jungles. There was a tribe of Farah. That Farahs. They lived there with the Macaulay and the Bastet and some of our tribesmates. When they arrive, they did what European Garu at this time do best. They raided upon the land of the south. They destroyed their kinfolks, enslaved them, broke those who were too close to Gaia with their own kinfolks. And for the Kamazots, they massacred them to the very last, killing just by themselves an entire Farah species.
What is a Kamazats?
The werebats. I do not know a lot about them. Do not know their ways. Even if I have to confess that I would love to know more. But just as Garu in the past killed the were-hog and other species, Shadow Lord just by themselves killed the werebats, making one of their totems that turn into madness and fall to the worm. Then I had my own experience with a Shadow Lord as my alpha. I will give that to Garrett. He is hard to hate. But Andre, the Shadow Lord, my own Alpha and Smiles in the Night Alpha, he left a cub that I had raised, a cub that I had groomed to join my pack, the pack where we're in. When we stepped into the darkness, when the enemy, the true monster hidden in the dark, came, he left the cub last, as he was an Arun, letting a young Galliard behind, one who had not yet received the blessing of Uktena, that would have made it for him less painful. I turned back and saved him. But the wound was still done. He was mutilated and carried the seed of hatred in his heart after this event. An event that ultimately led to his death a few months after. And when we confronted him, he pointed me as the one at fault, pointed me as the one who had brought them there. He refused to acknowledge his part in all this. Too proud. Shadow Lords are prideful, not in the same way of the Silver Fang, but they know how to use words, how to enchant them in honey and make it appear sweet to your ears. But I will concede that Garrett is an exemplary individual. One that, even if it cost me to say so, I am happy to have at my side when times matter.
Do you think it is the tribe and their pride that caused that cowardice? If it is the tribe, then how can you say he is not the same?
Questions are always hard to answer. Just as Garda Fenrir are mighty warriors, but two men not fighting. Olaf is an example of, well, I would say a tolerable Garda Fenrir. One who you know will always be by your side. I will not claim to have all the knowledge about the Shadow Lord. I have seen Mikhail, how he acted. He was always looking for weakness. In a way, one might say that this is good. But I wouldn't be able to give you the straight answers. Just know that for you to forge your own opinion, indeed, You will have to forego my words and go talk to Garrett. He will be able to give you answers that Gabriel wouldn't be able to give you. Gabriel haven't seen yet Grandfather Thunder. Great Father Thunder, for I have seen him, does not tolerate weakness. Your achievement should be your own. Your failures are your own. This is also very good for them when one of them fails. When one of them, just as Andre, does wrong. It is not the tribe. The tribe does not recognize it. It is the failing of an individual. But, as I told you, you need to make your own idea, your own understanding. My words are tainted by my own experience with the Shadow Lords. Just know that should you choose that way, I will not turn my back on you. But you should be wary of Screaming Eagle. For Andre had made a promise to Screaming Eagle and never uptold them. From that moment, Screaming Eagle has been referring to them as Voice of Thunder. For they rumble, but they are not lightning, and their words never strike. They talk, but do not act upon those words. For they are lies. That is how he perceived and talked through this. So, if you were to choose the Shadow Lords, I would advise you to seek a way to appease to Screaming Eagle, even if his intolerance for them is not as strong as for the Get of Fenrir. He still remembers that one of them made a promise to him and never uphold it.
She nods. And I'll have to meditate and speak to Screaming Eagle first. I do not want to offend him by making him think that I want to be a Shadow Lord. Not when I just wish to ask questions.
Yes. I do not think, however, that he would fault you for trying to understand them. He still knows that understanding is part of the way, but appeasing to him beforehand, yes, that might be good. If you wish to stay here and sleep with me, Calls of Fury smiled and said, "Oh, Ophelia now. I always like to call Sinner. Damn you, Saskia. You are always welcome within my den."
She wags her tail. Then I will speak to Screaming Eagle, and I will speak to Garrett. And then I will come back here. Maybe if I sleep on it, it will help me know what my wolf heart thinks, what it feels.
Katori will nod. Good.
Snowpaws is going to lean over. She'll spend a while affectionately grooming him, picking and chewing like burrs and anything out of his fur. And after a nice friendly bonding session, she will give his muzzle a few big wet licks before she leaves the den to go explore ancestors and tribes and all of that craziness.
And all that good old deep ancestral hatred. Well, with that, we can call it this long talk a scene. Thank you, player, for playing, watcher for watching, and we'll catch you next time.